Man, the NBA playoffs are heating up just the way we like them. The home team can't seem to win a game. We also got Raccoon smoking meth and Smokey. This and more. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Welcome to another episode of 58 South TV Presents Topics of Discussion. Your new home for sports, news, and entertainment. I am your host, 58 South, along with my co-pilot, Mr. Juice Jalapeno Jones. What's happening, boss?
Now watch me, you crank that soldier. Crank that soldier. That's how we're going to start it off, brother. What's going on, 58?
What is happening?
That's how we starting this episode off quick, brother.
Yeah, man. I see you and you are in the best of spirits, man. Congrats to you guys, man. Congrats to you guys.
Oh man, yeah, let's get started. We're going straight into it, man. Let's go. NBA playoffs going down right now. My New York Knicks is up 2 to the Boston Celtics. Beat Boston twice in Boston. We're going on game 3 this Saturday at 3:30 in the afternoon on ABC. We'll be at Madison Square Garden. It's going crazy, 58. You know what I mean? Like, I can't believe it. You know, game 1, I was ecstatic after that win. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, yo, it's only right. Boston didn't shoot good. They're still playing at home. They're going to come in here and tear us apart, right? But it's cool though, because then it'll be only 1-1. So I was good with that scenario. I'm looking at the game last night. We down by 20, 3 minutes left in the third quarter. Not looking good at all. The next thing you know, in the fourth quarter, we down by 15, down by 10, down by 8, down by 5. It went crazy, and we end up winning again. So, everybody, the Knicks are up 2-0 right now to the Boston Celtics, reigning that's the WNBA, the reigning NBA champions. I didn't want to throw no shade. That was no shade right there, dog. You know what I mean? Even though I'm nicked out over here, no
That
shade.
was that was one of them what they call it, Freudian slips. That man said the reigning WNBA champion. Yeah.
Let's get it. I'm calling it out for him early.
My goodness.
But let's talk about it, 58. What you think, man? What's going on?
Well, first of all, I know you excited. You ain't even let me toss to the juice report. So all right, cool. Um a couple things about this series, right? For one, I gotta give credit where credit is due. I didn't think New York was going to win the first game. I'll say that. I knew the second game would be more competitive than the first, just because that's typically how things go when you get into the later rounds of the playoffs. So for them to come back in similar fashion, games 1 and 2, congrats to the guys. Got to tip my hat to them. But then I was also looking at it like, well, in order for you to have an epic comeback, there has to be an epic collapse somewhere. You missed 45 3-pointers.
Game 1, yep, 45.
45 3-pointers
They shot 60.
and missed 45. I think for the first two games combined, they're shooting 25%, shooting 25 out of 100 from 3-point range. Yet the coach is not saying, "Hey fellas, y'all thought about stepping inside the arc and hitting some 15 footers maybe? Anybody? No, cool. All right, just keep doing what you're doing. It'll work until it doesn't. It'll work until
The
it
thing is,
doesn't."
you have all stars on this team. I mean, should the coach have to tell you? I mean, don't you know you just missed 45 threes? Does the coach have to tell you that? You know, as a reigning champion, I think you would have the knowledge to be like, oh, we ain't shooting right tonight. Let me go ahead and drive the ball in a couple of times to see if we can get something shaking in there. So I don't blame it all on the coach, brother. I don't think he would have a problem if Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum drove it to the hole a few times. I don't think he'll take him out the game or anything. I don't think it's nothing like that. So I don't know what's going on with them boys, but I'm happy for them. Keep on doing what they doing, man. Whatever y'all doing is helping us out. So keep on doing it, man.
One thing that I thought would happen, at least start showing his rearing his head by now, has not happened as of yet. Knock on wood, it doesn't happen for you guys. I thought that the way Tom Thibodeau plays his guys, throughout the year, like runs them hard and all that, that would finally start showing up in the playoffs in the form of maybe being gassed at the end of the game or something like that. Nah, man. It actually seems to be quite the opposite. These guys seem to get more energized the bigger the deficit from what it looks like. Never seen anything like it until I looked at the Pacers play. Then I seen the exact same thing. It's like they told each other before the playoffs started, we're going to see each other in the finals, in the conference finals. No matter what, we going to see each other. The Cavaliers and the Celtics don't deserve to be number 1 and 2. We going to see each other. I don't know if
Woo.
Halliburton and Brunson sat down at a fish table, at the fish table games and said that somewhere, but that seems to be the case, man.
Man.
But before we get off your Knicks, Mikal Bridges is the unlikely hero of these first 2 games, man. That might be an overreach, but I'm saying Mikal Bridges is the unsung hero because Jalen Brunson did exactly what you expected him to do. Clutch player of the year. He did his part. It's always about, like Shaq love to say, the others. And y'all got a mean team of others, man. Real mean team.
Rightfully said, but Mikal Bridges is no stranger to this. This is what he was signed to the New York Knicks for. This is what we want him to do. This is the whole mission for Mikal Bridges, which he hasn't been looking that good this whole season. He'll do a little something here and there, but we need a consistent Mikal Bridges. And what he has shown these last 2 games, this is the reason we gave 5 first-round picks away to get this man. This is the reason why we did that. We had to get 5 first-round picks to get this man. You know what I mean? And now, I'd rather you show up right now. I don't care about the season, brother. If you're going to show up in these playoffs, let's go. I'm all for it, baby.
Hey man, he's doing his thing. He's doing his thing. Y'all gotta get out to a better start, man. I don't think y'all gonna want to keep coming down from 20 every time though. Even at
No,
home.
sir.
Even at home. Yeah. And
No, sir.
that's gonna be the hottest ticket in New York Saturday, man. A winning Knicks squad with a chance to close out a series in the Garden.
Brother, it's going to be crazy. They got us playing at 3:30 in the afternoon. You know how many, boy, these people are about to be turned up early in New York City, and they want a reason to have a great night. So this is what it's going to do right here, man. And I'm like I say, I'm going to stay humble. Everybody know who I'm rolling with, as you see, but I'm not going to overspeak or overstep any boundaries. I'm just going to keep on telling my team to play like they playing. Let's keep it going. I love it. I love the intensity. I love the way everybody looking out there on that court. Let's go Knicks. But before we finish though, I'm gonna transition from the Knicks. Now we got to go to another playoff game, which is going on right now, which you already said is the Indiana Pacers versus the Cleveland Cavaliers, the number 1 Cleveland Cavaliers, if I'm correct.
The regular season number 1. Nobody all year has really
Regular.
had faith in the Cleveland Cavaliers, man. Even to the fact to where I don't even remember seeing a lot of their games like on national TV. They played a bunch of NBA TV games, didn't they?
They did.
Yeah, like nobody believes in the Cleveland Cavaliers for real. Like they don't.
I still don't. I
I mean,
still don't.
I'm not gonna lie though. I didn't see this coming, but what I did see was see, I kind of want to go back from Tyrese Halliburton won the game. I'm speaking about game 2 now. He won the game off of missed free throw, got his own rebound, took it back out like you playing in the backyard. He was like, no, you got to take the ball back. You hit the rim, you got to take it back. Took the ball back, hits 3-point game winner. All right, cool. But to get to that point, there was a terrible inbound pass on the other end of the court. It was a terrible inbound pass. No boxing out is what led to him getting that rebound. And then way before all of that, you're missing shots, and nobody's thinking, just like the Celtics, nobody's thinking drive to the basket, get fouled, get some easy points. Nobody's doing that. So the analytics guys who keep telling these professional athletes, hey man, it's either 3-pointer or nothing. Hey, you might want to rethink your strategy, man, because I'm watching teams that are shooting just fine, well within the 3-point line and winning games. They're doing
And that's
just fine.
crazy because, that series is the same as the New York Knicks series because in this series, the Pacers are up 2-0 right now, and they beat Cleveland, those 2 games in Cleveland. So now they get to go back home just like my New York Knicks are going home. So it's the same scenario, you know what I mean? So I'm watching both of these real carefully, these Eastern Conference games. And then on the Western Conference, we got, the Thunder versus the Nuggets. And that's tied 1-1. The Nuggets demolished, the Thunder the first game. And
No,
then
no,
the
no, no, no,
Thunder,
no, 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 no.
but they outplayed them the whole game, 58.
And
It was
just
not like it.
and that's the point. and just barely won the game. Yeah, they outplayed them, as you said, and just barely won. So that what we saw last night was what we were supposed to see the first night, but the Thunder got shocked. Cool. Now they about to go to
That was a
Mile High.
blowout.
Yeah, now that last night made a statement. They made a statement.
They won by 40.
Yeah, they made a statement. They had like 80s, almost 90 points at halftime.
Yep.
Yeah, almost
87, I
90.
believe.
Yeah. Almost 90 at halftime. I'm like, all right. Yeah, them boys was upset. They were
Crazy.
upset. I get that.
Then moving on, you got the Warriors versus the Timberwolves. And tonight, this evening will be game 2 of that. And
Mm-hmm.
the Warriors lead 1-0. And that was with a hurt Steph Curry that left the game.
Yeah, that series will be tied up after the night, though.
So you believe in Edwards? You think he's going to just turn this whole thing around, huh?
I believe after beating the Lakers, he's not going to get swept in this series. So tonight, it'll be tied up tonight. It'll be tied up tonight.
Okay. And they still playing there. They still play, correct?
Yeah, this will be the second game in Minnesota.
Okay. I'm going to keep an eye on this one because for some reason, I don't know why, I'm thinking that playoff Jimmy and Buddy Hield are going to show out and win this game too as well. And then go back to Golden State with a 2-0 lead. We'll see.
Well, okay, so the thing that caught me by surprise in that first game, you see Draymond Green from behind the arc, like hitting, not taking them, but hitting 3-pointers.
Right.
And the problem with that, if you're a Minnesota fan, is so now Rudy can't just hang around the basket and protect it. Now he got to come out and guard somebody. And that's when you got to get him off the floor and play small. Now you playing in the Steve Kerr hands. That's your issue with that. That's what kind of, gave me room for calls as far as being an Ant Edwards fan. Now, mind you, I'm a diehard Charlotte Hornet guy. Everybody know that. But I still think that this is Ant Edwards' shot going to the NBA Finals this year with the path that I'm seeing. If the Oklahoma City stays upset like what I saw last night, now you can call this. You can go and call it. 90 points by halftime.
That was ridiculous. I never seen anything like that, man. I've never seen nothing like that. That is crazy.
They set a record most points in the first half of the playoffs, if I'm not mistaken. And the Celtics set a record by most missed 3-pointers
Right.
in the playoffs. So it's been a record-setting playoffs, man. Record-setting
You
playoffs.
saying that they almost had 90 in the first half. I've seen games in their full entirety where one team doesn't even have 90 for the whole game.
Them old Heat versus Knicks games.
Exactly.
Yeah. I know the exact games you're talking about. Used to watch them
99 to 85.
Yeah, watch them on NBC with Marv Albert being the commentator. I know.
It's amazing, man. That's crazy. But I don't think it'll stay that way. I love the way OKC is playing, but I don't think Jokic and Murray, I don't think them boys are going to go out that easy.
I think that's going to be a. Hey, I'm going to just go ahead and say, I think it's going to be a gentleman's sweep. I think the Thunder did not appreciate getting punched in the mouth at home like that, so they're going to make an example out of these Nuggets these next 3 games. Well, they only got to win. Yeah, they got to win three more. So, yeah, the next 3 games, they're going to make an example out of the Nuggets, man. And if I'm wrong, it won't be the first time. But, yeah, making an example out of them. Because right now, go ahead.
I'm about to say, how many games do you think it's going to go? This series between the Nuggets and the OKC Thunder.
3 more.
5 games to over.
Yeah. It'll be a 4-1 gentleman's sweep. It'll be a gentleman's sweep. 4-1. Because you got to remember, man, SGA still hasn't won that MVP outright. Because Jokic had averaged a high level triple double. And who's he going against right now? Come on, man. Put him away. Put him away and get your trophy.
I like the way you're thinking, man. But I'm going to throw mine out there. Since you're going for the gentleman's sweep, I'm going for game 7 in this one. I think it's going 7. I think it's going the whole 7 on this one.
I don't think they got the legs for it. They just came out of a game 7 with the Clippers, man. I don't think they got the legs for it.
Ready? Jokic's ready. He ain't gonna give him that easy, brother.
Jokic ain't got as many weapons as SGA. That's why I said it's gonna be a gentleman's sweep. He gonna get tired of having to figure out who to stop. And then you got
right, but
Chet, Hartenstein, and one other big guy they can throw out there at Jokic that can actually play. You know what I mean? Not just bodies, but can actually play. But hey man, we're gonna see which one of us is right.
Yes, sir. I can't wait.
As far as that Golden State series, you got Golden State coming out of that one?
I'm basically just enjoying watching this, man. At the end of the day, I want my Knicks to come and do what we do, and that's all I'm really worried about at the end of the day. But without Steph Curry, and they don't know how long that's going to be. They say he's out for a week right now. So without Steph Curry, I don't know, man. I'm going to say Minnesota, in six. We're gonna run with that.
Hold on, I want to write these down. Minnesota in 6, Minnesota in 6, Cleveland, Indiana. Because I don't know if any of the guys from Cleveland are coming back. Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, DeAndre Hunter. I don't know what the timetable is on any of those two starters and the 6 man. I don't know when the timetable is on coming back. So right now, I just got to ride with Halliburton and how
Yeah.
he's upset with being called overrated by the other players. So he's got something to prove.
So what you
So it
calling for a
seems.
sweep?
Yeah, I don't see why they shouldn't be able to close them out in Indiana, man.
Really?
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, I don't know of any other time where the number 1 seed has been swept. I know they have lost, like back in '99, the lockout season when the Knicks,
Yeah.
as the number 8 seed, went to the finals. So I know 1 seed has lost to a lower seed before, but I don't know if they've ever been swept. We're gonna see this year.
Well, I'm going with Indiana in 5.
You got Indiana in 5. You got the gentleman sweep. I'm going for the outright, the killer.
You going for
They ain't,
that? Yeah, you going for the
yeah,
straight up.
ain't no reason to come back to Cleveland. The next 2 games are in Indiana. Ain't no reason to come back to Cleveland.
True. I mean, same thing with my Knicks. Ain't no reason to go back to Boston, but I know what Boston gonna do. I know they coming to play now. I mean, they're not gonna just go out like that. And if they do, that's a shock to me.
Boston is a better road team than a home team this year.
Yeah, you're right. Correct.
But
That's
you
why I'm so
still
worried.
you still got the Knicks winning the series though.
Oh yeah, we definitely gonna win that series. We going to the Eastern Conference Finals.
That's what it do. That's what it do. Knicks and the Pacers. Some
Yes,
old school Eastern Conference basketball, huh?
yes, and I'm all for it. I think, yeah, I would rather face the Pacers than face the Cleveland Cavaliers as a Knicks fan. If that makes any sense.
It does not. It does not. I don't know. Why? Explain that to me.
I don't
Please.
know, man. I feel more comfortable, man.
With the
It's
Pacers?
just something to get. Yeah, man. It's something about that Spider Man. It's something about your boy Spider Man. And Garland and them might be healthy enough to start playing. When the Eastern Conference Finals start. If it happened that way. So I would rather see the Pacers, man. I feel like we match up better with them. I don't know. I could be totally wrong, but coming from my standpoint and my players that I know who we have, and I think they got the best of us last year in the playoffs. If I'm right over here, I think the Pacers did take advantage of us last year. So I think we need some get back. But I would like to see them before I see Spider Man and all them out there in Cleveland.
I don't think you're gonna get your
Crazy.
wish. Yeah, I don't think you're gonna get your wish, man.
Yeah.
Good gracious sakes. All right. Since we on your Knicks, let's go talk about your Giants for a second. So your wide receiver, I think his name is Malik Neighbors. Went to LSU. He was on the 7 p.m. in Brooklyn podcast. This was, I think, last week or early this week or last week, whatever. And they were asking him about the Shadour Sanders situation. And he had made a comment to the effect of, how did he say it? I don't want to misquote the man, but he was like, I kind of lost respect for some of the teams that passed up on Shadour Sanders, right? But in saying that, you do realize the team you play for passed up on Shadour Sanders. Like, they were the first team to pass up on Shadour Sanders that people thought might get him because they needed a quarterback. So I'm just wondering, to you, do you think that might cause some friction with the actual quarterback that y'all did get, Jackson Dart? How's that going to go over in the locker room? Or do you think it
You
was
know,
just him defending Shadour Sanders and his slippage in the draft?
I think it was Malik Neighbors telling the honest truth that he believes and that he
Mm-hmm.
knows, and from what he's seen, you
Mm-hmm.
know, he worked out with Shadour. He knows exactly what Shador's about. He's seen him work out. He's seen his ethics. He's seen what's going on. He feels that Shadour would be a better quarterback for him than Dart would. And take it as you may. People want to have feelings and get emotional. That's on them, man. But I think even Dart disbelieved. Like he had disbelief. I don't even think he thought he was gonna be, over Shadour. So it's still a surprise for him. You know?
I'm sure he got a phone call letting him know he was going to be picked, man. Yeah.
You
I'm
think
just
so?
saying. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Okay. I think it was all surprise, man. And, I think that's why, they picked him because, he didn't have no big head on his shoulders, and he probably didn't even think, he would get drafted that early, especially by the Giants, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
But if you think you got a phone call, hey, he might have not. But in his head, I think he's still surprised anyway, you know what I mean? Because everybody's saying that, just Shadour was at least the number 2 quarterback coming into this draft, you know what I mean? So it's all a surprise, especially for me because I've watched Shadour the whole year play. I've seen Dart play a few games. I wasn't that impressed. But, it's my Giants and I'm going to roll with them. And we're going to see what happens, man.
Since you want to roll with the punches, September 12th in Las Vegas, Canelo Alvarez versus Terrence Bud Crawford. Are you excited? Do you care? How you feel? Me, I love the boxing.
I know you excited. You ready. I know you are ready.
I loves the boxing, man. I loves it. Ryan Garcia just lost to Rolly Romero over the Cinco de Mayo weekend too. I called that in the group chat. I said Rolly, however you want to pronounce it, with the upset. So I ain't gonna pat myself on the back or nothing over that fight, because I think that would have been a real good fight to have on like YouTube though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been a real good fight to put on YouTube or something like that, because I ain't want to pay to watch them two. No.
Are you gonna pay to see the Crawford fight you was talking about?
Well, that depends. If I don't have to work the day after, then yeah, because that way I can get off work, go pay to see it somewhere or whatever. And if not, I just wait a couple days later, watch it on YouTube like I do the rest of them that that I can't catch live and in action. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
What was that date of the fight?
September the 12th.
Oh, okay. Good, good. Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Haven't been
Yeah.
to a fight yet. I haven't been live in attendance to a real fight in my life yet, and that might be one I want to attend right there.
Yeah. Yeah. That was that would be quite a fight to attend, there, brother. Have you even been to like a kind of amateur type fight, even in Greensboro, anything like that?
The only thing I've been to in Greensboro was in the early 2000s. They had crackhead boxing, and I went to a couple of those crackhead boxing events, and that was it. If that qualifies for your question,
Well, since we talking about crackhead boxing, so hey, the segues just keep on coming. So there was a raccoon caught with a meth pipe.
I'm trying to picture that in my head.
Well, I didn't see you the video.
No,
Man, I'm slipping. I'm slipping.
no, did the video actually have the raccoon with the crack pipe in his hand?
So not only did it have the video,
A
not
meth
only the
pipe?
video have the raccoon, which the raccoon's name is Chewey. Chewey had the pipe in his hand. The cop took the pipe out of Chewey's hand. Chewey pulls out another one. Chewey pulled out a second pipe. Can't stop, won't stop. Look, but the whole story though was 55-year-old lady by the name of Victoria Vidal. This was in Akron, Ohio. She was charged with 3 counts of possession of drug paraphernalia, cited for driving under suspicion. Yeah, the cop. Is that it? Is that? Are you watching
I'm
it?
sorry. Yeah, I have to put it on. Yeah, I'm sorry. I had to put it on while you was talking just to make sure I actually see this while you're giving the story, so I can really
Yeah,
get it in my head.
yeah, man, yeah. So, yeah, the cop is laughing. He goes, "Look at he's trying to smoke her pipe," and then so he took it, and Chewy pulled out another one. Like, man, I ain't new to this. I'm true to this. Coon life.
That is crazy. That is bizarre.
That is bizarre. That is very bizarre. But
Oh my God, I'm looking at it right now. This
uh huh.
is
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
58. Where do you get this news from, 58? I
Man,
haven't
just
heard about this from nowhere else on no other channels, from no other sources, but you come somehow and come to topic of discussion with a raccoon
Chewy,
and a meth pipe
Chewy,
joint.
the methamphetamine raccoon.
Wonderful. I love it. I love it.
It's something else out there on the internet, man. We can go ahead and put that to bed right here on topics of discussion. Juice, 100 men versus one silverback gorilla, no weapons, neutral fighting site. Who wins?
100 men
100 men. And
versus Silverback Gorilla.
from what I was reading now, because I was trying to get the whole, the rules and the premise, it's like just 100 regular dudes against one silverback, no weapons. Now, mind you, a regular dude, I'm guessing they mean the average guy. So average guy like 5'9", 160, I think. Average silverback between 5'5" and 6 feet, 400 pounds,
100 men though.
100.
That's one silverback. I
One
mean,
silverback.
they would all have to like pounce on him at one time to like subdue this gorilla. Because if you going one on one in stunts, like he gonna be going through them humans real quick. Them punches from gorillas are different than human punches. You know,
I'll take your word for it. I ain't never been punched by a gorilla. I'll
I
take
don't
your
want to
word
be
for it.
punched by one. I do not want to be punched by one. I'm telling you right now. But I don't know. I'm gonna say the 100 man.
100 men. Okay, cool, cool. I was thinking about this, right? So at first, I was thinking like you, because in my head, I'm like, all right, 100 dudes, one gorilla. The gorilla probably going to get tired after a while. Then the guys going to have a chance. Cool, they can be able to gang up on him. Then that word just stuck in my head and it kept getting louder and louder, right? Gang, gang. What do we know about gangs, right? So if a lot of them get caught, somebody's going to get away. Somebody's going to not stand tall. So think about it. After you watch that first man get his head ripped off by that silverback gorilla, you we've seen guys fold for less, fold over a Big Mac, a 25-cent bag of peanuts and a Coke, and just break down and tell everything, right? So you think after watching your partner get his head ripped off, you're gonna be like, you know what? I'll avenge your death. You're crazy as hell. Oh,
When you say it like that, it's different.
yeah, yeah. Like, so logically speaking, the 100 men, cool. But realistically speaking, after knowing, the nature of man, I got the gorilla, cuz. 100 guys it ain't about to be 100 guys left to tell that story. It's going to be, so the first 10, over. Hope they got good life
They
insurance. Out of here. Hope they got term
I was
life
going with the
insurance.
first 25. I was saying the first 25, but I go with the first 10 because I was saying he go through 20 of them things easy.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Well, cool. We'll give them 25%. We'll take the first, cool. The first 25%, done. Number 26, he was already backing up after he saw the first 3 get demolished. You know what I mean? He was looking for his car keys in the first place. Let's see, that's 26 right there. Yeah,
Okay.
then everybody else went. They gone somewhere sitting down talking about it, like, man, I wonder how the fellas is doing. I wonder how the fellas doing over there with the gorilla, man.
The
Yeah,
other
you know what I mean?
73, the other
Yeah.
73, huh?
Yeah, cause you know the excuse all of them going, you like, yeah, man, I got a phone call. Old girl told me to come through. Man, I wasn't about to pass that up to fight no gorilla. You know what I mean? We'll go see what Shorty was talking about. Yeah, man. So no, it won't be, when it's all said and done, there will not be 100 men standing around waiting to fight a silverback gorilla. No, they ain't standing tall like that, man.
So who came up with this? Are they going to really try this?
I would hope not. I really would hope not.
Well, the things people do nowadays, it would not surprise me one bit if somebody really tried to put it together.
You know what, man? We've seen stranger things, man. We've seen stranger things. We see.
But to me, if somebody would actually do that and try to put that together, they must be smoking something. And since they smoking on something, let's make that a segue to go to Mr. Smokey Robinson.
I knew it
And
when you said smoke. I knew it when you said smoke.
since we're doing segues today, we might as well go right into the Smokey category. And boy, Smokey, man, what they talking about, 58? They say this man is accused of sexual assault by 4 different women.
Yeah, not only sexual assault, sexual battery, false imprisonment, negligence and gender violence, in addition to a number of labor violations related to wages, breaks, meal times, and overtime pay. They also got his wife in the lawsuit. Mind you, this is not criminal. When I say again, I just mean seems like every time we say something about a sexual assault or sexual misconduct case, we're going straight to the money. Nobody's pressing like charges. So his wife, Miss Frances Robinson, they're claiming she contributed to a hostile work environment and used ethnically pejorative words and language. So I'm guessing she was like using slurs and saying some derogatory stuff that people might say behind closed doors when people aren't around. But she said it to their face. I'm just Put it that way. So three out of the four were housekeepers, and one happened to be Mr. Robinson's personal assistant slash cook slash hairdresser. The assault took place starting in 2006. It took place on various what's the word I'm looking for? Various properties that he has. It listed like 3 locations, and what they were saying was, in most of the instances, he would take them to places where the closed circuit TV cameras wouldn't see. And I'm like, that's interesting to put that into the lawsuit like that. I guess that way you're like, well, of course we don't have any evidence because he did it. I know that it sounds like I'm what you call victim blaming or whatever, but I'm just saying, man, Shannon Sharp did this, yo. Cause they want $50 million. Shannon Sharp out here setting the rate. Shannon Sharp setting the rate for sexual assault allegations, yo.
Oh man.
Straight up. Straight up, man. Shannon Sharp did this.
So it's Shannon Sharp's fault, huh?
I mean, as far as the number. 50 million, that's the going rate.
This Soulja Boy have one too, you said?
Yeah. He lost his case a couple weeks ago.
Was that 50 million?
How much did she get? God, let me look her up. Cause I forgot that case was even going on. Cause you know how you hear about some of them and you're like, well, that's probably gonna get settled or tossed. That did not get either. Neither happened there. He lost. Took an L. And then read a statement. Then he read a statement outside the courtroom about it, but like was holding up the phone as he was reading his statement. Like, boy.
You can't fix dumb, I tell you that.
Man, let me see. Soulja Boy lost. Okay, he was ordered to pay $4 million in his sexual assault case.
That's still big. That's a nice amount, especially for him, you know.
Man, that's a hefty amount for anybody, man. That's millions.
Very hefty. But we talking about this 50 million that Shannon Sharp has and Smokey Robinson has, so 4 million in comparison to 50. But when you talking about the stature of the person, like Soulja Boy is not Shannon Sharp, Soulja Boy is not Smokey Robinson. So $4 million.
Hold on now. I ain't gonna sit here and now as far as Smokey Robinson, he's in the league on his own now. As far as Shannon Sharp go, I ain't gonna play Soulja Boy like that. Now Shannon Sharp ain't had no dance. Shannon Sharp ain't have soccer moms that shop at Starbucks talking about Superman that hoe. No. Can't do none of that.
So what you think Soulja Boy got the big money like that?
More than Shannon Sharp? Is that what you was trying to make you was trying to make the comparison that Soulja Boy wasn't as I guess notable as Shannon Sharp. And I'm like, I can't agree with that one.
Now I gotta do this net worth.
I don't even think Shannon Sharp ain't even the most famous Sharp in his family.
Well, his brother, you gonna say his brother is?
Yeah, Sterling. Yeah, man.
I think he used to be. I think Shannon got more publicity now. I think Shannon's way over that.
I mean, within the past 16 to 18 months, yeah.
Let's see.
But that bread got given and that bread got taketh away.
But you are definitely right, and I am definitely wrong on this one.
Yeah, man, Soulja Boy got ringtone money. You remember the last time you bought a ringtone?
Man, you are 100% correct on it. I don't know where I was at thinking about this, but
yeah, Shannon Sharp
Soulja Boy worth anywhere from $150 to $250 million.
Yeah, Shannon Sharp was happy to receive that much and got it taken away. Yeah, no.
Yes, you're 100% right, because Shannon only has a $14 million net worth, and he's getting sued for $50 million. So that's a whole lot of whoa. He ain't gonna be nothing if he loses. He's gonna be done. He's gonna need Stephen A to carry him up again, huh?
He said he seems to be riding for him, so that should work out in his favor, I guess.
And they say Smokey worth about the same too, about Soulja Boy, like 150 million. That's crazy. Well, you was 100% right, 58, and I gotta definitely tell you that.
Oh, I mean, it's whatever. I think Smokey Robinson is worth way more, and I'm gonna tell you why. I think that's Lionel Richie I'm thinking about. Never mind. It's Lionel Richie that owns stuff in I think it's Hollywood. He owns some of the real estate in Hollywood. But still, Smokey Robinson though, Motown Smokey Robinson, gotta be worth more than Soulja Boy. Come on now.
Like you said though, Soulja Boy had all those ringtones and all this other stuff that we didn't know about. You know that
Smokey Robinson has been making music since Cadillac Records days and stuff like that, man.
No, man, but they just got...
Smokey is almost 100. Smokey is 15 years away from 100, Joseph.
But you know, the money was smaller back then than he was making back then, you know?
But he's still been sampled. Matter of fact, D'Angelo did remake. BJ the Chicago Kid did it's artists remaking this man's music and repurposing it. So he hasn't been getting paid for a long time, man. Ain't no way I'm gonna sit here and believe Soulja Boy tell him is worth more than Smokey Motown Robinson. That's no, I can't believe that one.
Hey, well, according to Google, it
Yeah,
has
there you go. No,
Smokey Robinson at 150 million, and it has Soulja Boy from 150 to 250. They ain't have no specific for Soulja Boy, so they don't know where
yeah,
all his money's at.
yeah, man. Google don't know what they're talking about. Not in that situation. Google don't know it.
Well, basically, Soulja Boy winning then because he only had to pay 4 million instead of 50 that these boys are getting sued for.
This
I don't know what to say.
I'm interested to see if this Smokey Robinson case proceeds though, and the reason I'm saying that is because of the nature of the females that's doing the suing. Yeah, I'm curious to see. Uh, yeah, see if that holds. Real
Is Tony
curious.
Busby? Is Tony Busby the attorney for this one too?
I did not see his name come up.
I hope
Yeah,
not. I was
I
about
did
to say,
not see
I
his
really
name
hope
come up.
not.
Yeah, nah. Cause when you think when you think housekeeper, you kind of think of a certain demographic, and I'm curious to see if this goes the yeah goes the distance here.
I'm
Not
just
saying
curious why it took 19 years for that to come out.
that's in this case it would probably be some words to the effect of him being in a position of power and his stature, as a iconic Motown artist or whatever, him having that type of leverage. Nobody would believe them, this, that, and the third back then when it happened. But this was in 2006. I mean, it ain't like Smokey Robinson was on the charts doing anything in 2006.
It just boggles me that, when you say that, and I'm not coming at you, but this is what everybody always says that, oh, if I would have said it back then, that, he wouldn't, nobody would have believed me. So what makes you believable 19 years later? Like that's the same thing with Bill Cosby when the ladies accused him from the 70s of, dropping pills in their drinks and so on. Like, what makes it not believable in the 70s or the early 80s while his career is like at its full peak than to do it 30 years later and make it believable? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. To me, it's more unbelievable. I would believe it more if you're pulling the charges up while it's happening, so to speak, instead of waiting for that long period of time. I don't get it.
Now, the Bill Cosby ladies were serious. That was a criminal case. Bill Cosby, they wanted him in jail for that. They ain't just want his bread.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So if there were going to be anything that stuck out to me, you'd be like, I think it might have really happened to them. They wanted to see him locked up.
Okay.
These four people, they want to be broke off with some bread.
And that's it.
We'll see how that turns out. Putting his wife in the lawsuit, I haven't seen that before. That's new to me.
Yeah, it is.
Kind of saying she complicit in it, and also how she was calling them names and creating a hostile work environment. But we'll see. We'll see, man. I give it if this is still a story in a month, I'd be surprised.
I'm with you on that. I think all this
Yeah.
will be done.
Yeah.
Smokey will go ahead and give us a couple of million to each one of them and shut them up and keep it rolling.
I don't think he's gonna do that, man. I think Smokey Robinson has the money to draw this out to where it just gets drawn out. The three or the four plaintiffs in this case, they ain't got enough bread unless they're being backed by an organization or some folks. They ain't gonna be able to stand the rain.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. When you take it to that point, yeah, I definitely understand where you're coming from.
Because
Definitely.
again, it's a civil lawsuit. You want the bread from him, so you know he has the bread. But do you anticipate on him just giving you the bread or him fighting the bread? Excuse me, fighting with the bread? Like, this is my reputation y'all playing with. I may be in my twilight years, but I'm old. I ain't cold. I ain't dead already. I just ain't gonna get $50 million up out of him. Know how much blue chew that man can buy with $50 million?
Talking about some blue chew.
Yeah,
Get
man,
out of
blue
here,
chew,
58.
man. Blue chew and mascara. This is Smokey Robinson we talking about, Jack.
Get out of here, man. Stop, man.
Yes, sir, man. Play with Smokey like that. Smoking that weed, drinking that wine.
Good old Smokey. Oh, that's funny.
Smoke, Smokey ill. Smokey ill. The Diddy trial is starting. Yeah, Diddy trial is starting. Uh,
They still getting
I guess
jurors right now, right? They're picking the jurors.
I think so. Yeah, yeah. I don't think since OJ. Yeah, since after that OJ trial, they stopped showing them joints on TV like that. Cause remember, everybody was glued in. I remember getting out of school watching that.
Yep.
Like it was
We watched
yeah,
it at
like
school. We watched it at school. Huh.
yeah, that was a thing. Speaking of trials on television, man, you had that Tyree Nichols update for me, right?
Yeah, the update that I seen, from that brutal beating that happened in Memphis in 2023 of a gentleman named Tyree Nichols who got supposedly pulled over for a traffic citation, a traffic violation, turned into three cops and beating this boy so bad that 3 days later he died. And
Mm-hmm.
the three police that were all charged with this, Tadarius Bean, Demetrius Haley, and Justin Smith, they all were found not guilty on all seven charges that they were facing, including second-degree murder, aggravated assault, and aggravated kidnapping. So the justice for Tyree Nichols has not been served, apparently. And it's looking very sad, because they have a video out that shows the whole incident that happened. And it just didn't look right at all, from my point of view and from a lot of other people's point of view as well. It didn't look right. So, for these cops just to get off scot free, it's just setting a bar that's not cool, and it's like we're going back in time to me. And what do you think about it, 58?
I think that we could all learn a lot from the police, man. Police don't see color; they just see blue. They treated the black cops just like the white cops. They ain't do nothing wrong. They with us. They with us.
Correct.
Black, white, whoop black dude ass, and you got a police uniform on. You with us. They good. That's where I'm at with it. I'm just
Terrible.
I'm curious to see if there's going to be any uproar in Trump in Trump's America. I see y'all putting your protester shoes on or what down there in Memphis.
And most likely
Y'all
it
ready?
won't happen, especially because the cops are black. You know what I mean? So it's probably not going to be a big uproar about it, like to that level.
We shall see. We shall see. Who
Well,
else did
from
we
what I've
have?
seen, I'm praying for his family and anybody in his corner. I'm praying for them because I know they want to see justice served. Now, what you about to say?
Nah, that's that just to serve sentiment, man. So Rodney Hinton Jr. of Cincinnati, Ohio, his son was killed by the police, and so what he did after that didn't make any sense to me. So he ran over and killed a Hamilton County Sheriff's Deputy, Larry Henderson. Now, when I first read, I read the headline, I'm like, yo, dude's son got killed by a cop and he killed the cop. I'm like, that is wow. But that wasn't the case. He just ran over a random police officer. I'm definitely not saying had he killed the cop that killed his son, I'd be rooting for him. I just would have been able to understand that more than him running over somebody that didn't have anything to do with it. Like that's foul. That's I
That
don't,
is that's terrible, man. That's
that's
terrible.
foul all the way around. Like God Almighty, man. And there's video of him, in court with like a wall of police behind him. Just you can look at the video and see how tense it is in there. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Yo.
Two wrongs never make a right. That's what I learned when I was young, and it don't. And especially in this situation, like I really hate the fact that your son got, killed. And I hate the fact that you're putting the blame on, the certain group. And it is what it is after that. But you running over and man, like you don't know what kind. He got family, he got things going on. Like you just gonna, stop his. I don't know. That's just it's weird, man. The world we live in today, it doesn't surprise me though. 58, it really doesn't.
Yeah, but what I think about even more so than that is, are you the last person in your family left or something? I hope you the last one in your family left, because if you got other family members that still live in that area, you just made it hell on them for the rest of their life.
They better go ahead and move. They better go ahead and get out of
Yeah,
there.
move, change your
Huh.
last name, like you just made it hell on them folks, man. Anything could be
Ain't thinking
probable
about
cause
nothing. Ain't thinking about
to
nothing but
mess.
them.
That's come on, G, come
Yep.
on, man.
Yep.
Got 'em.
Selfish act. Very selfish. Very selfish.
Yeah. That's a men don't, man. Yeah, think about others, not just yourself. Men don't
There
just
you
think
go. That's
about
a good one,
themselves,
58.
man. Think
Yep.
think about others, man. You gotta think about your last name, yo. If you ain't gonna do it for you, do it for your last name. God almighty, man, you made it hell on all them folk just cause you was in your boy. I get it, your son died. God almighty, boy. It's hard on anybody with the last name Hinton around there now.
Oh yeah, you ain't lying. Did you know what part of Ohio it was?
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati, huh? Okay, yeah. Any Hintons in
Yeah.
Cincinnati, get the hell out of there.
Well, speaking of getting out of there, Warriors play the Wolves tonight. Go check that out. The weather's great. I'm about to step outside and breathe some fresh air here in a little while. What you got going on for the
Oh
rest of the
yeah?
day, Chief? Yeah, man. Why
Oh
not?
man, I'm gonna do what Mr. Robinson's first name is, man, and just have a great day, man. We just gonna keep it smoky out here, and we gonna roll around. You know what I mean? And get right with these 2 wins that my boys got over the Boston Celtics right now. I'm gonna live it up for a little bit until Saturday, then I'll get back serious on them.
Smokey. Okay. You are on
What do you say?
your own. You are on
What?
your
Hey,
own.
what do you say? 58. He go, I love it when we cruising together. That's my Smokey. Better stop playing.
Nope. Terrible timing. Terrible timing. Hey, man. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Since y'all tuned in, might as well go ahead and like, share, subscribe in that very order. Like, share, subscribe.
Yes.
Go on, get us up to 1,000 subs, man. We're gonna skip 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Go on, get us up to 1,000, man. I know y'all tired of me texting y'all the episodes every week. Just subscribe to the channel so I won't have to.
Oh, he still will anyway. Don't worry. Even after we get 1,000, he's still gonna be texting. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Don't
It's
stop
called it's called guerrilla marketing. See what I did there? All right.
Yeah, I see what you did there.
Oh man, you can follow your man Juice Jones on all socials at Juice Jones. You can follow 58 South at 58 South TV on Instagram, Facebook. You can also check us out on Spotify. 58 South TV presents topics of discussion. Juice, any last words for the folks?
Be good and be good at it, everybody. Peace.
Unless your name is Smokey Robinson.
Unless your name is Smokey Robinson, right?
Don't forget, man, whenever you go outside, take God with you. Be kind, be careful. Thank you for tuning in. This has been another episode of 58 South TV presents topics of discussion. Your new home for sports news and entertainment. Peace. Got to check.
Let's go. New York.